Hey guys, it's me T coming at you with a new reading for today. Actually, it's gonna be for today. So the reading is gonna be from 3 o'clock p.m. into 3 o'clock p.m. tomorrow. So it's gonna be Wednesday into Thursday. Wednesday all day is my day of health, healing, and joy and laughter. And also I'm going to add playfulness in there because there hasn't been enough of that. And the next day, the next morning, Thursday morning, I have labeled it to be, let's see, what comes after Thursday? Oh, fame, fortune, and reputation. Okay, so that's what we are going to be talking about today. Now just give me a second. I'm very grateful to be on here, guys. You have no idea. Thank you so much for tuning in. Because the energies have been really harsh on us strong people. And I'm gonna say those that don't even feel strong to begin with, which are the strongest people out there. And so, long story short, yeah, it's just one of those things, and I'm grateful to come on here and just talk, you know, my knowledge and experience and all that jazz through complete softness and gentleness and just emotions, right? Emotional EQ, because I feel like it's kind of like, you know how there's like a comedic relief? Like, I feel like this is the comedic relief, but like emotional relief session, or, you know, like aspect of life. So so welcome in whenever you are called to do so, and let's get right into it. All right, so highest and best Yang card for Thursday. There it is. Highest and best Yin card for today. Alright, now it's very interesting. The way that the cards came out have a lot to do with it as well. Thursday might be like, you might be feeling a little like to yourself. And today you might be feeling a little bit more exposed, like willing to kind of go yang. So it's kind of reversed a little bit. Also, okay, let me just see what's up. Wow, we got this card before. That's interesting. Like, very recently. And maybe even, like, the last time I did it. And this is the, let me just take it all in for a second. Okay. Woo! Alright, so, this is so spot on. Wow, this is wild. So, the first card for today, representing today, a yin card, but really is kind of yang for today, is Don't Be Afraid, because that's what the energies are today. Just kind of like more so like put yourself out there, or spit, or you're being spit out there, you know. So this card just says don't be afraid. I think there's just a lot of transition going on where, you know, it's very interesting. I can tell you my mind chatter has been about a lot about the COVID stuff, and I feel as though there's a lot of kind of things happening as a resulting wave. So the stuff that we never kind of purged throughout the COVID, you know, throughout the COVID times, like the strong aspects of it, which, by the way, it's still around. Like, I'm still hearing people get it, so it's kind of wild, right? So like, we're still in it, so, which I feel like a lot of people might even think it's not the truth. But I just spoke to somebody just yesterday, you know, in terms of like the community and my surrounding community. And literally, like, 2 elderly people, you know, got it. So I was like, damn, this is crazy, you know? So I don't mind being the wild one with a freaking mask on until, you know, I kind of stop hearing about it. You know what I'm saying? Or intuitively, I get I get it within myself that, okay, now it's time to like fully take it off. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to stand out and like really kind of stand up for what you believe to be true in terms of, guarding your, your good health, right? So, and I'm always going to say that don't ever be afraid to guard against not guard against, but guard against other people so that you can have better health, right? And whether that be a mask, whether that be, saying no to other people, whether that be, and whether that be also just not in your health, but like your health in all aspects of your feng shui life, right? There's 9 of them. So you're talking about if you're guarding your, career, your business, all that jazz, so yeah, so there's like things that are coming up that are like really kind of just weird. But they're spot on at the same time, but also it just, I guess it like sometimes things happen just to kind of get you out of your cozy zone. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid. Also, don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to even be yourself. There was something about that too, where I was thinking about that this morning, where I was like, you know what? I have to kind of just put everything aside, because sometimes we're a little bit, this is a good one for today. Sometimes we're a little bit afraid of even following our intuition. So I'm giving that over to the A team, because the intuition has no age limit, right? And I feel like as though a lot of the times, we put the limitations on ourselves. Like, for instance, if we're not there yet career-wise, right? And we're getting pushback in a negative way to be like, we're not there yet, obviously it can take a toll. The rejection can take a whole big toll, because, we're hearing like this bad stuff, like, oh, we're being super bad because our career hasn't taken off yet, or we don't know what to do with our career, or, things like that. But what I'm also getting here is like, don't be afraid to, what was my point? Is don't be afraid to be yourself, and don't be afraid to listen to your intuition for your entire life going forward. So if your intuition is not making you feel like you're batshit crazy, or if your intuition is pretty much spot on, and you're just kind of like, no, we have to do this because of the fact that it's just kind of like, like we have to pay our bills and and what if this happens and what if that happens. By the way, I am putting out there all day today and all night tonight, which I'm going to quickly write this down. So give me 1 second, because I meant to do that. I'm putting out there today. All right, Spirit's saying don't say it, because I'm going to surprise you guys with I think 2 new services today. So, all right, I'm just gonna have to write it down, because it's coming to me and I didn't write it down before, and I have to write it down just so I can post about it. All right, so anywho, today's the 30th. We're probably gonna be feeling spirit a lot as we transition into September. But so that's the whole thing. We're in Virgo season now, and Virgos actually are pretty intuitive. It's just that, sometimes I think there's like in the air, in the Virgo air, I feel like, and that's just to not be more of a generalist about it, right? I'm just talking about like Virgo idea in general. The Virgo air really kind of comes with like, I am open to listening to my intuition. I will listen to my intuition, but there is a pushback on the intuition in terms of like, as if the type A of a Virgo knows better than intuition, right? So you're gonna be kind of even like Libra air, like where it's just kind of like Libras, like they get vision, but they're like uncertain about it. So they kind of are like super wishy-washy. And so that's what I'm saying. There's like this wishy-washy aspect in the air, but also has a lot to do with Mercury retrograde. I think we're in Mercury retrograde right now, which means that you really shouldn't be doing all that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think more so you should be kind of taking a staycation or a vacation or anywhere in between that. And it's just more so to like calm your ass down, like just like receive, right? And what you have to be in a receiving position in order to hear your intuition well. Part of the reason why I love meditation is you are sitting, your eyes are closed, and you're doing nothing, which is receiving, right? It's like a mini vacation, and you didn't even have to go that far. You don't have to pay for it, you know? And the whole thing is, so it's kind of like a pause, and it's also, I might have to go get, oh, I have water with me, that's good. And not only that, but when you meditate and you close your eyes, there is a sense of turning everything off. Like, you're basically turning everything off within yourself, and you're really just paying attention to what your senses are, what your feelings are. And it's very important, especially on a health day and also on a Friday, to tune in to your childlike self. And I like to be tuned into my childlike self all the time, to be quite honest. Because I'm a Capricorn, so my shit is all too serious. So when I can get in my like childlike essence, like, I love that shit. I do. I love it because of the fact that it gets me, you know, kind of out of my problem solving aspect or adulting like ways, which I've done for far too long, with us being like the quote unquote most responsible sign out there. And the whole thing is, it's like sometimes we have to like shed it and shrug it all off and like restart, you know? And I'm constantly open to restarting. I'm constantly open to keeping it fresh. But there is a lot of work to that too. There's a lot of work to staying fresh, to staying relevant, to staying, you know, just adventurous, new, you know, also, what else was I going to say? In like when you invent stuff, like inventory, like creativity, like that, just, those are fresh vibes, you know what I'm saying? And it takes a lot to kind of, you know, to kind of, what is it called? I guess stay relative to those vibes, you know what I'm saying? Or to stay even loyal to those vibes. So don't be afraid. Also, I feel like you had to make certain decisions lately that might have gotten you on this fear level of like, fuck, not again, or fuck, like, you know, like, I'm just, maybe you're doing something based off of fear, or you're doing something based off of a dream that you had. And the whole thing is, it's like, you know, when it comes down to it, it's like, don't be afraid of taking the proactive essence toward what you really feel you need to do for yourself. A part of health and healing, I'm going to tell you something right now. Yesterday I was like so drained yesterday, okay? But the funny thing is that as much as I am drained, I literally like, and I'm drained on so many levels I can't even express to you, like from food to like fucking energy in terms of walking to like taking on the fucking heat, you know, down south. It's just, it's a lot, you know? But it's really interesting because of the fact that yesterday I ran into somebody and I was fucking depleted. Like, I literally am. I'm fucking depleted, even if I'm like still trying out life, right? And somebody came over to, and I actually, funny enough, I was reading a sign that it says, sit down and breathe and relax. Like, it said, there was a sign at like, at a bus station of where I was at. And it said something like, sit, breathe, and relax, and like, you know, and like wait for your bus or something like that. And I said, and I was reading that sign, I was about to take a picture of it. Because if I can, I love taking pictures of my signs. But the whole thing is, then I put my stuff down, and a guy came over, and he was like, he goes to me, he's like, and I love how, I really do, I appreciate how, like, vocal guys can be, you know what I'm saying? Because it's courage, right? But, like, I'm also super not used to it lately, because I've just been so, like, in whatever, you know, like, fucking get shit done mode. And, like, long story short, the guy that, like, and he, like, kind of spooked me because like, I'm just kind of, like, always used to being alone. And so the guy comes over and he's like, girl, what did he say to me? He said, he said, girl, he goes, oh, he's like, you be looking real good or whatever. But he said it in a way that wasn't, like, raunchy, but, like, it was obviously hitting on me, right? And he's like, you be looking really good. And I go, oh, thanks. And he was like, no, but he goes, what did he say to me? He goes, I'm trying to think of the exact words because they were so magical. He was like, no, but he's like, you look like you've really been taking good care of yourself. That's what he said to me, right? And I said, fuck. And I, like, literally reflected in that second. I said, if you only knew how long I've been fucking taking care of myself. Like, it's just been so fucking long, like, of a journey, which I'm fine with because I know how to do it really well. So he was picking up on that. And I was like, wow, that was, like, heaven sent, because when you, like, you're feeling fucking low, you feel like nothing's going through, nothing's, like, working out, like, for you, in a sense. But it's interesting because I'm telling you right now, in Virgo air, Virgo spirit, Virgos, interestingly enough, I think rule the health or something along those lines. And, I have to double check that, but so, because I read that one time, but I don't know if that's, like, actually it. But, like, what's interesting with Virgos is Virgos have a challenge a lot of the time. They want to do really well, but they have a lot of time that, like, a lot of the time they really can't, like, they don't have it in them to take care of themselves as best they could, because I think they're such perfectionists, so they kind of, like, let it go to shit a lot of the times. And or you're like, I mean, that's like the low vibrational aspect of it, but you could also be like the vibrational aspect of it, like, it's like Virgo season, you have to do everything to the fucking perfect T, right? So it can go either way on the spectrum. But the way that it hit me in terms of Virgo season is like, I don't even care, but somehow I'm hitting these fucking goals. Like, it's just so weird. It's like I've, and I think maybe it's a part of the release. I've been, like, doing so much releasing. So the whole thing is, it's like, you know, the release is real, completely real. But also it is like, it doesn't seem like you're doing the work for it. Like, and actually maybe it seems like you're doing the work for it, but, like, it's really tough to keep the work up when it comes to it. You know what I'm saying? Or keeping up with what comes along with what you want your goals to be, right? So the work has been really an overloaded type of tough, and with not a lot of, you know, maybe results to gain, maybe a little bit here and there. I'm not going to, like, complain, but, like, I know I want to see certain results and they haven't panned out yet. You know what I'm saying? But also, I don't know if it's me just, you know, whatever, like, maybe having to work at one thing at a time. I don't even know. But long story short, this card says don't be afraid, which means, and that's why I went into that whole thing, is because I think things just haven't been panning out. That's where I wanted to kind of get into, but yet they are panning out. So it's really weird. It's like a really weird, you know, it's a really weird energy. You know what I'm saying? Also, I feel like I also feel like it's very kind of like, it's like new energy, but it's also very, like, stank energy. Like, yesterday, I can tell you right now, and I know we're not talking about yesterday, but yesterday was, like, really stank energy, and today is kind of like your result is don't be afraid of whatever just happened, because you might have went through a whole bunch of other wave, like waves of rejection. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, don't be afraid as if like nothing's gonna pan out for you, because obviously there will be something, even if it looks stormy, if it looks cloudy, if it looks, you know, dark, if it looks like too deep where you can't freaking even come out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is going to be, there is a light that is also there with it. So it's kind of just like, pay attention to the light. Just pay attention and focus on the light. Focus on what you know, what glitters, what makes you kind of golden, right? So, which would be your strengths, right? Your golden strengths. So that's basically, do anything and everything that you can to conquer any and all fears that are within you today, but also are, do the best you can to like use your courage, you know what I'm saying, to do things. Moving on to the next card, thank you, Spirit, is as a soul, I can be in several places at once. Now, this is what I also was going to say. Funny that we're talking about this, because I feel like the energies are also very, like, the retrograde energies that are coming through seem to be very Gemini energies. And I know that Mercury is linked to Gemini. I think it is the ruler of Gemini, or Gemini is the ruler of Mercury. I can't remember. I think it's Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. I think that's how it goes. But long story short, like, strong Gemini energies are coming through. So that's why I brought up the Libra thing before, because it's kind of like, you know, they're both air, but also it's kind of like this back and forth energy. So like anything, you know, it could be Libra energies, but I'm really sensing more so Gemini energies within this thing. But it's definitely like, it's kind of wild. It's a little, you know, you kind of, and maybe we shouldn't be wrangling it in. Maybe we should just be going with the flow and not really kind of, you know, not really kind of judging it for what it is, but just like being like, okay, just accepting it for what it is. Even when it's the rejection. It's like, I feel like there's a lot of rejection and competition coming up. That's what it is. And which means that there's like a lot of ego, I feel like, that is, you know, and what I'm seeing is like, you know, when somebody like kicks sand or kicks, you know, dirt, like there's a lot of dirt being kicked up by this type of energy, which is not cute, and I'm seeing face, cause it's like, and I'm also hearing like it hits you in the face and you're just like, damn, I haven't like, I personally haven't gone through that in a long time, but also it could be a little bit of my karmic aspect of what I'm receiving, because of the fact that I've been a very big asshole lately, very big, and I'm not even gonna, I'm not gonna apologize for it, because my assholeness, there's a reason for it all the time. But also, you know, just like I said, the back and forth thing, whenever I'm an asshole, I'm just like, fuck, like I wish I didn't have to be, and I wish I can turn it off. But the whole thing is like, I'm just agitated. I'm just frustrated. I'm just like, you know, like there's just so much fucking just being torn the fuck up, I want to say. Probably like foundations are being torn up. Like I'm seeing like, you know, blacktops just being fucking torn up. Like we're not doing, like maybe there's just a repair going on. You know what I'm saying? And so with that type of, which is very interesting, with whenever blacktops are kind of like being repaired, there's always a lot of like mousy type of vibes, and like where it's kind of like mice come to the forefront or to the surface, or there's always that type of like mouse energy that comes up, because the ground is like shooketh, you know what I'm saying? So there has been a lot of like mice energy, I guess. Yeah, mice spiritual totem energies coming out, which is weird. Like I've been seeing like Ratatouille. I've been like weird shit like with mice at like this job I had. And like, you know, the whole thing is like, it's just interesting, and it's not a place I fucking want to be in, you know what I'm saying? But also, let's not forget that there's a high vibrational side to it where it's just kind of like, you know, quote unquote Ratatouille, quote unquote, What else was I also thinking? Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, you know what I'm saying? So there's like the high vibration of that, so it could be like a magical aspect of it that we're working with as well, or that's working, with us behind the scenes. But this card says, as a soul, I can be in several places at once, and I feel like you are a bit like spread too thin, right? You are sensing that you're in two places at once. Also, this is a great card. For instance, tomorrow is September 1st, and there's a unicorn on it. And unicorns are really good, energy to have in all the aspects of your feng shui areas. And what was I going to say? Whether they be like artwork or figurines or whatever the heck have you. But what I wanted to say here is very interesting because I feel like maybe like help is coming through tomorrow. Like there's this fresh perspective on help that's coming through. Also, I feel like those that have been in several places at once, you kind of could be like confused as to like where you want to be, even like physically speaking. So, maybe something comes up for you as travel. Maybe something comes up for you like in terms of, today into tomorrow, like, maybe you want to be somewhere else. Maybe it's like, maybe you're being called back and forth, like, oh, maybe something's going to pan out. Like for me, it's always been kind of like New York and Florida, but then lately it's been NOLA again. So I'm just kind of like, I am a little bit confused. Like, I don't know what, where to be, where to kind of, I guess like dig my roots in. And I'm a little afraid, right? This card says don't be afraid, but the truth is I am a little afraid to dig in somewhere, you know what I'm saying? To call the shots. But here's the thing, I think for a female it's very important to figure it out as soon as possible. And I think I just got the answer in my head, so that I can be a better receiver, okay? And that's just to kind of, because again, a female, God bless, all the female travelers and this and that, but I mean, we love to have fun, we love to go exploring, but to be a better receiver with our intuition and not just be in survival mode, because traveling does put us a little bit in survival mode, is like we have to just like get grounded, which means put our roots in somewhere so that we can flourish in terms of our career and receiving, but also receiving first so that we can figure out where our career gets to kind of take on its life, live its life out, which kind of is scary to me because it's like a huge commitment, but at the same time it's kind of like, me being a unicorn, I feel like, a unicorn human, it's like I feel like I can do all this stuff. So it's basically like you might be in a battle between your childlike essence and then like your adult-like self. And so that in the middle would be like, okay, maybe like a college student / teenager or whatever, teenager / college student. So the whole thing is it's like, and like maybe like your 20s. So the whole thing is it's like, and I think it's also, here's the thing, I think it's also you're kind of like you're releasing a lot, giving it over to God, to the God, the ruler of the universe, the creator of us all. But the whole thing, and to nature as well. But the whole thing is, I wanted to say something that was coming through, but my eyes just got really tired. And I think that is a big, that's a big type of receiving for today, is like, I think your eyes and or your vision is just tired. It's just like, so it's not that it's not spot on, it's just that you have been giving, and retrograde is it has a lot to do with the RE word of receiving. So, which people don't, I never realized up until now, until I said that is an RE word. So it's the time of receiving. And what Spirit wants me to get into now also is the Happy Midway card of these two cards together, in terms of the transition or blending the two energies together is, and what's actually also going on inside of you is it says, now I have no pain. So the whole thing is, when it comes down to it, and it's a golden card, it's really interesting because this morning you could have felt that. You could have felt the very real essence of you having purged a lot towards others and or yourself and or just the whole aspect of what the heck is going on in your life and what other people are what other people around you have going on in their life. And you could have literally woke up this morning super gentle, because, just the energies needed to come out. And also, like, you kind of, it's not that you don't want to fight anymore, it's that things are over, right? So the pain is now over. Like, you've taken the pain, you've expressed it, you've prayed about it, you've, I'm going to say gnarled at it, growled at it. Like, you did all of that purging, like, yesterday. That also could be your today. And, and it is something to be afraid of in the concept of, you wish that in a blink of an eye you can take care of something in terms of just either beating somebody's ass, or just, slapping somebody, or, like, waking somebody the fuck up, right? You wish that, like, you can, like, do that. And honestly, you could be having thoughts of, like, things that would, in a normal human's mind, be very afraid of, if you were to act on it. But the whole thing is, there is a huge control aspect within yourself that's like, reel it back in, because if you were going to do that, obviously the results and the consequences would be bullshit. You know what I'm saying? On your end, when you worked very hard to literally overcome a lot of the things that you have been through in this life. So it's kind of like you refuse to throw out the baby with the bathwater type of thing when it comes down to, how you function as a, quote unquote good person. It's kind of like this. What comes to my mind is like, I don't know why, but it's like, Chris Brown hitting Rihanna. Like, it's one of those things. It's like, if he fucking just realized that, like, yeah, she's annoying in the moment, or yeah, you want to beat the shit out of somebody who's in front of your face at the moment, but it's also like, he can't say he didn't work hard to get to his fame. Everybody works hard to get to fame. You know what I'm saying? And maybe not work hard, but like it's a 1 in a fucking trillion shot where somebody fucking, maybe not so much because obviously we have more celebrities than that. But what I'm saying is, like, it's super rare, that you get discovered and that you essentially are like fucking Michael Jackson status, right? Like, he easily could have slipped right in when Michael Jackson fucking, like, passed on. But the whole thing is, like, he didn't give a fuck about his reputation. He acted in the heat of the moment. He acted kind of like on an insane level to kind of beat the shit out of somebody, to kind of, quote unquote, get his way, or, like, to whatever the case may be, the frustration out. But really, the whole thing is, it's like, yo, she made it more on top than fucking he did because he fucking lashed out. You know what I'm saying? So now he's, like, kind of at the bottom, totem pole. But meanwhile, he's a good looking guy. He was the entire package, honestly. Like, I really liked Chris Brown. And then once he fucking went to go do that, I was like, damn, that's so fucked up, So my whole thing is, it's like, I like literally I had those thoughts yesterday of like, yo, I could beat somebody's ass so easily right now just to get through to them. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, it's like, I know that I'm the protector of my work. And I know that I'm the protector of my fucking sanity. And I know that I'm the protector of my non-dramaness. So it's kind of like, I'm gonna still work at that no matter how much somebody fucking pushes me and eggs me on. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of people have a lot to say lately that is just like, they come out of their face thinking they know the story, either trying to be deep or trying to fucking be helpful, and that shit is not actually helpful. But guess what I turn around and say? Thank you for your fucking help, because the whole thing is, it's like, I'm not even trying to fucking argue with people. I'm not even trying to fucking care. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like being right. Like, my whole thing is, again, I just need to be super fucking happy and almost, and when I say happy, I mean joyous, content. I need to fucking see my fucking myself flourish. I need to see my success rates go the fuck up. I need to see all that shit within myself. I need that to be built upon. You know what I'm saying? And the whole thing is, it's like, you know, and so it's just the wild world and the variety-filled variables of dealing with humans lately is just a little too fucking much, right? That, you know, it is what it is. So it's kind of like, and maybe because I'm like I'm meant to be a writer or something like that. So like, I don't really need anybody. Like, I don't need anybody's fucking opinion. Like, I just need solitude, which is also Virgo, you know, energies. I just need, like, my fucking bills to be paid somehow, some way, you know, in, like, like, just a non-drama filled way, but also, like, a way where I can just have the time also to write, you know? And so the whole thing is, like, so that's also been coming out, like, lately, where I'm just, like, the more and more I think about it, I'm like, listen, I was here to help at one point, and I still am on an emergency level. Like, call me if there's an emergency, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, like, from a day-to-day perspective, I'm not really here to help people anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here to help myself. I'm here to, you know, vent out different things. I'm here to share what I have learned out of my own perspective, hopefully helping somebody else. But that's not the goal any longer. The goal isn't to help other people any longer. It is to help myself. It is to be that selfish, because, you know, a bitch doesn't have the fucking energy anymore, or the time, or no, I have the time. I'm just not willing to fucking focus my time and like kind of allocate the time to where somebody isn't as appreciative as I am. Like, I'm not here to like wait around like a loyal dog to be like, did I do super well for you? Did, you know, are you okay? Like, is everything well taken care of? Like, can I get you anything? No, I'm not here to do that anymore. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, I'm not going to walk on eggshells. I'm not going to, you know, there's that zone, that phase, that, like, you know, maybe inner childlike self, that's done with, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, some people could argue with me on like, oh, that's super low, that's super, and it's super low to the people that actually expect that shit from me, right? But like, to the people that actually want to love me unconditionally, would be like, okay, yeah, T has to do what she has to do. Like, they would be healthy minded about it, you know? And that's all that I really am manifesting at this point and attracting into my life, is people who would cheer me on if I said no to somebody, if I had to quote unquote reject somebody, you know? Like, I'm gonna vent to you for a second. I went to go see a fucking woman yesterday, bless her heart. And this is like how like out of touch people are, where it's just kind of like, and not only with their intuition, and actually I'm going to just say maybe she's spot on with her intuition, because I was spot on with mine too, but I just kind of was like, let's just kind of like go see. It was like more so like, it's something to do, it's something to get me out of the house, and like, it's something that you don't know, like maybe it is something that I'm not like, you know, really picking up on in terms of like reading accurately, right? Meanwhile, I'm always super fucking accurate. So, I don't know, I was just like fucking around. Again, maybe Gemini, Gemini fucking energy, just like fucking around, having fun, just like whatever, not listening to intuition, but just like, yeah, actually, I'm going to say semi-listening intuition, but also getting myself out there, right? But maybe, and it's very interesting because I'm not going to say I regretted it, but I did learn from it where it was like, yo, if you don't listen to your intuition, you literally get super fucking, like beat down. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really is. Like, you get super beat down, and I think I just maybe needed that reminder. Where it was like, kind of like, and so also, and maybe, you don't know how this universe works, maybe because I live with somebody that gets beat down all the time because they kind of sort of never go with their intuition, so like, maybe I just needed to get tapped into some sort of like compassion, you know what I'm saying, with that shit, like, oh yeah, this shit's real, like, the feels are real, and so, long story short, whatever, so I went to this woman, and I had written her a really nice thank you letter, or what I thought would be nice, like straightforward, nice, like, thank you so much for meeting with me, da 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 da. And also I thanked her for her insight on one thing that I feel like freed me up or relieved something within me, And she came back with like some fucking weird ass fucking, first of all, the meetup was weird in general, but like I kind of knew it was gonna head that way. And then like she returned the, like, instead of just saying like, oh, you're welcome, and like not giving a fuck because you knew you weren't gonna fucking hire me or I wasn't in your realm of possibilities or whatever the fuck happened, like she like literally took something out on me, like as if like there was something wrong with me, like, oh, like whatever. And I was like, wow, I do understand that I have very loud things wrong with me, and and it's fine because I have accepted them, but I don't know what fucking else to do about them. And as you can tell, like, I literally work on it. For those of you that are gonna, I guess, like, watch this video, like, listen to this podcast, I'm gonna just put it that way. And so it's like, it's perfectly fine. Like, I mean, it's not perfectly fine. It's really not perfectly fine within myself, honestly. But my whole thing is, and I'm gonna say it's all well within my soul, but perfectly fine is not perfect. That's not the case at all. Like, I'm actually trying to figure out more so about what to do with my career, other than having to wait on things to fucking blossom. You know what I'm saying? But so long story short, so interesting. I'm seeing no pain, but then I'm also hearing no gain, right? So it was kind of like maybe you had to go through a little bit of pain to gain something out of it. So yeah, so this, I'm not going to even go into the whole thing, but like, I guess this chick was trying to like whatever, like, I guess, try to be of emotional intelligence, but really didn't know how to do it because she hasn't done it in a long time. So like, really, she was by far very rusty in terms of, she got something out of herself, but also I'm like, damn, it's so, like, you can, like, it was like basically like kick a dog while it's down, like that type of energy, where I'm just like, damn, like, people really can't, be, some people really can have that, what's it called, like, the self-control, the retraction aspect of, like, just hone it in, like, and I literally, to what she's told me, to what, like, how, because essentially she told me off, and I was like, okay, I don't understand, like, how the fuck you could do that at an interview, especially when you received a fucking nice letter, but, like, it is what it is. And so I guess I needed to be told the truth about myself, but I already know this truth, so I'm like, damn, like, fuck, universe, like, that's really fucked up. But again, it could be in my karma, I'm not gonna, listen, I'll take it, I don't give a fuck. But it took me a second to get the fuck over it yesterday. So, long story short, and then, like, several other things came through from, like, 3 other people, and I was like, damn, you like, this is why I, like, literally like, I'm too sensitive for people. Like, I'm too sensitive to deal with people at this point, you know? And it's not that I hate them, it's that I don't think I can deal with them face to face. I'm definitely more background. I'm definitely more like, you know, I'll work the background aspect, you know what I'm saying? And so long story short, yeah, so like that like hit me hard, and I was like, and I don't know what I was going to say with that, but basically it was like, there was just like no need for it. But the whole thing is like, all right, you know, you know, so whatever. So I did what I can to release the frustration out of that, to fucking, you know, release the bitch assness out of that. I don't know what more I can pray about in terms of any of that. So like, I just did all the praying that I possibly could, you know? Also, thank you again. I'm going to say thank you again for you guys listening to how I learn from things here. In terms of my own personal monologue that I put out there, has nothing to do with other people, honestly speaking, from this moment on. Unless you give me a lesson to learn from, and then I will absolutely share your fucking scenario on here because I get to. Whatever, man. Like, it's just whatever, what it is. And so, but the reality of it, very interesting, is that, and it came through this morning, is that, you know, intuition is to be honored. And, you know, I'm free to go and be with my dreams. Like, this is why I rather be with my dreams than with people. You know what I'm saying? But also, I can't exclude people because, or, I mean, maybe one day I can, I don't know. But my whole thing is like, you know, people, the right people and the most caring and the most highest and best people for you, they get you there. So I'm never going to be like, not grateful for people, you know what I'm saying? People, you know, knowing the right ones, knowing the ones that care, you know, like people in high places that care. Like, I absolutely 100%, even not even in the highest places, the people that can give you like simple leads to like get you somewhere else, like, you know, like for instance, like, you know, the commoners or the common people, right? Like, I'm super grateful. Like, I walked into a space today and, you know, I was like, hey, I'm here to follow up. I can't get through to, like, you know, whatever, the headquarters to see, like, where I'm at, you know, what's it called, the resume-wise, like, where my resume is in the hiring process. And I was like, I can't get a hold of anybody, so I want this location, and, you know, I want to work at this location. And so immediately the person that I would be working with was like, oh yeah, I'll just send them an email about, like, you know, he's like, write your name and number and I'll send them an email and I'll just let them know. And it's like, oh my God, thank you so much. And they're hiring at the moment. So I pray to God that it's meant for me, in terms of a, you know, meant to be, but also a combo of, you know, the best of both worlds. You know what I'm saying? Blending the two, I'm actually getting super hot, which I appreciate, spirit, but at the same time, and I'm going to take that as a confirmation, but, yeah, the heat lately, oh my God, the heat that, like, one takes is just out of control. I'm talking about regular temperature-wise, but then also the heat of other people, man. The punching bag status is just, like, kind of, like, wild, but at this point, I'm telling you, like, I'm so tired of, you know, having to fight through it, and that at this point I'm like going limp. And just yesterday, oh my God, God bless, I literally saw on social media how in New York, and God bless them, the horses, right, the horse and carriages, like, there was an underfed horse, like, just totally malnutrition, and which I have been feeling lately, even though I am not. And I'm thanking God so much for that, because I take my vitamins and my multivitamin, and I literally pray for, like, my health all the fucking time, because it's just been a wild road. But, like, I've definitely felt that way as of late, and with this heat, it's just, like, even more that you're like, what the fuck? Like, how much beatings can, like, a bitch fucking take, literally? And, you know, from I guess, like, spirit, or, you know, the invisible. and even in the physical, like I just said, you know. So the whole thing is, it's like, what was I gonna say? So I saw that, and like there was, like, you know, helpers of this horse, like hosing the horse down, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, I can't believe the fucking suffering of this horse too. And horses, to me, are like so fucking sacred, right? So it's just like, you don't even think of it, like they're fucking in crazy heat, malnutrition. Like, where do you think they're gonna fucking like bring this chariot to when they don't have the strength? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you think they have the strength, and that's what it is. Like, I too, I'm like, oh, like I semi have the strength, and from the outside looking in, I look like I have the strength, but on the inside, I don't have the fucking strength. That's, you know, to take it all the way, you know, full circle. Like, I really don't. And you know, I think some people might even be afraid of that. Like, they might collapse. They might, you know, they might run themselves into the ground. And I think Spirit here is just saying, don't be afraid of that. Like, that won't be you, you know? That's another card that they're making me look at the card. So, and I can tell you that was one of my fears. Like, if I collapse, there's no one to, like, actually, I'd be doing myself a fucking favor, I feel, or like the world a favor, or whatever the fuck have you. But like, my whole thing is, it's like, lately, I really have been, I was like, yo, sometimes I want to crawl up in a hole and die, but also I'm like, can a bitch just crawl up in a hole and just rest and just pause and just be, and have it be okay with all of her fucking bills getting paid? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all a bitch needs, you know? And that's all a human needs, not just a bitch. A human fucking needs that, you know? Because sometimes life can be all too fucking much, and yet, like, it's not allowed. For some reason, it's like, it's not allowed. For some reason, it, like, you know, and especially, it's not that it's not even allowed, it's like, you can't, there's no money coming in. How are you allowing yourself to just do that? You know? It's like, I don't think I can even, right? Like, I have to kind of, like, and not that I want to chase the money, but at this point, it's like, there has to be that, because, like, you know, I have people around me that don't even want to, not that it's my problem, but I don't have the people around me that are caring about even the house that we're even living in. Do you get what I'm saying? A house takes money to fucking, you know, keep on going, just like, you know, just as a person is, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, it's me not being taken care of as well as I can possibly be taken care of, as well as the house that's covering me right now. So I'm like, I am like in a bit of a freak out mode, but my whole thing is like, I'm just human too. Like, there's only so much that you could do. So, and I'm telling you right now, there's this back and forth fucking energy that's super fucking annoying, and I'm gonna talk to this energy right now to get me the fuck out of it, because it's pissing me off, because I'm just thinking about how annoyed I am with the fact that I'm like a girl and it's expected out of me to like stay home and like do, you know, like basically take care of the house, take care of the older members of the family, and then go get a fucking job, and then like also, you know, go after my dreams. I just fucking named 4 damn fucking things that I have to do. So, and also, by the way, 5th thing, take care of myself, people don't realize, is like, there are 5 major fucking things, not even adding on a business, not even adding on all the shit, but like, there's so much fucking shit to do that I am driving myself fucking crazy, not only in terms of location of where I'm gonna like head, like where am I supposed to go to save myself? You know what I'm saying? Where am I supposed to go to find actual, like, you know, also like to invite more love in? Where am I supposed to go to do that? Like, where am I supposed to go to meet love halfway? You know what I'm saying? Because a bitch needs love at this point too. It's very frustrating. And so, and that real love, I'm talking about the real love, because anybody can get fucking laid anywhere. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm talking about real love. So like, I'm scared that I'm gonna just like miss it, you know? So again, don't be afraid of that too if you're in that scenario. And because Spirit is speaking to us right now through these cards. So it's like, my whole thing is like, this is not just coming from me. So that's another, so that's why I'm fucking frustrated too, is like, you know, I just named 5 to 6 things that literally, and there's probably 7 too there that is not coming up, but like, literally, like, you know, the whole thing is, it's like, I'm doing all this back and forthness where it's like, I don't know how to even, I don't know if I want to say the word balance, but manage. I don't know how to manage all of this myself, especially when you are not, you're, like, I am very much so a wholesomized manager. Like, I love to maximize the wholesomeness of anything that I'm managing, like, all the time. But when I am living in a space where I can't trust somebody to, like, pull their own weight, you know what I'm saying, in terms of taking care, in terms of just doing one simple task, which is taking care of an elderly family member, right, while you're retired, which I understand is a job in and of itself, but at the same time, who the fuck else is going to do it? You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is, it's like, I know you don't like your job, but like, but that doesn't, like, so I don't know, whatever. My whole thing is like, I get scared that shit is gonna be malnourished, right? Malnutritioned. Like, I get scared that, like, it's not just me that's being malnutrition and malnourished. It's also the most elderly person in our fucking household that, like, isn't being taken care of to the best of our abilities. Whether or not she's liked and whether or not we like her, you know, she likes us or we like her, it doesn't fucking matter. Your job is your job. Take the fuck care of it, right? And so my whole thing is, it's like, and if you don't like it, here's what the biggest management fucking ballsiest thing to do is, man the fuck up, humanize the fuck up. When I say man the fuck up, I mean humanize the fuck up. Step the fuck aside and let somebody who doesn't give a shit about fucking, like, who actually does it with so much fucking pleasure, take it on as their own, right? Like, as their own job. And you, like, even if you're retired, I just, like, met another person the other day that I was so super grateful for. He was like the epitome of, like, what I like to call, like, an American man, like, American, like, old man, like, where you're just like, you're proud to be an American. He was like proud to be American. He, like, did his thing. He, like, fucking worked these factories, you know what I'm saying? Like, and he, like, had his hot rod. Like, he was the epitome of, like, God bless America, you know what I'm saying? And he even said, he was like, yo, he's like, I'm retiring for the 4th time. And I'm like, that is exactly what we fucking need in this life, is, like, we can't fucking just retire once and forget, like, that we have responsibilities. We have to, like, put ourselves on, yes, a relaxed retirement, which are both E words, which I'm now putting myself into. I don't give a fuck what age it is, so that we can literally, like, slow down or roll a little bit, but then also tend to all the things that need to be tended, which is bringing money in, which is, you know, making sure that all things are tended to in terms of, like, even if it's a part-time job, go get a part-time job. And here's the thing that pisses me off is, like, I'm not forcing anybody to work, but at the same time, you'd be stupid not to fucking work. You'd honestly be stupid, because it's a part of your health. And also, and I'm not saying overworked, I'm saying, like, worked enough, you know what I'm saying? I feel very overworked because I've compromised in so many different ways. I've compromised myself. God bless the fact that my health hasn't been compromised at all, even through COVID. So I am so grateful for that, because I know in my mind that I am strong, and I know that in my health and healing of the ways that I take care of myself are super strong, and I'm committed to that, right? But the whole thing is, it's like, you know, and I believe in what I do. It's not that I just do it because somebody told me to. I believe, like, there's a deep souled meaning to it. You know what I'm saying? And sacredly so, right? And my whole thing is, it's like, so this guy who was in his fucking 80s or 90s, literally, he was like, I'm going to work for the 4th time, even though I've retired 4 times, right? So it's like, you just have to do what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to feel cozy and comfortable at one point, you have to put the fucking effort in, you know? And that's my goal, is like, I just want to be cozy with money. I just want to fucking be cozy in whatever way that fucking comes. I'm open to it, but I know I picture it a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not like held on. I know I picture it a certain type of way, but the way that it fucking needs to come about, like, I give that over to the God. Like, I'm not, you know, like, it's not like, I know I'm not God, put it that way. And I know that I'm not like, I know that I'm not like, you know, it's not up to me, right? It's all about the aspect of, you know, you create a plan and God laughs at your plan, right? I've seen that just recently, and it's just, it is that. It's, so my whole thing is, I give it up to I give it up to our God first and foremost. And, you know, and he's gonna have his way with it. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, but my whole thing is, if you are of good health, if God has given you all the fucking power within yourself, right? And the privilege and the knowledge, and, you know, you're wholesome, total and complete and 100% in all of what he's given you. You need to use that to your utmost ability, you right? Like, just to kind of say thank you to him. But also at the same time, we need to really relax. And there's another RE word, really relax, 2 RE words, like, about having to prove ourselves to God that, like, we are worth his efforts when it comes down to us. Because my whole thing is, I think I've been in that proof mode, and that gratitude filled mode, where I'm just like, you know, I want to make sure that God knows that I'm super grateful for all that he has given me. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that I have to overwork myself to the fucking, you know, to the fucking bone, so that he knows I am grateful. I just am. And that's just going to have to be okay at this point, you know? Because like I said, the horse that I saw at NYC, I was like, damn, dude, that's a reflection of me right there, where I'm just like, you know, I am this collapsed horse. And the whole thing is, it's like, and it's mute, right? Like, when fucking animals collapse, when something happens to animals, you don't know what the fuck is going on with them, because they're mute. They can't speak to you, right? The only thing that you know is through the feeling. And so the whole thing is, and that actually came through this morning too, is, now that I have no pain, I'm going to tell you this right now, is that I'm only dealing with the feelers. The people who are the healers, of which they have felt into their own shit, of which they've never forgotten where they fucking came from, of which they don't have to show up to the world in a way that has to prove something to others, or has to be more, what's it called? Like I guess, like put themselves on a pedestal. I just actually met somebody the other day that was like, he was surrounded by wealth, okay? And he said to me, he's like, yeah, my wife and I just wanted to move to a more simpler way of life, because we've had enough with that high-end bullshit, she shit. And I said, I am the literally same way. Like, I'm literally the same way, because it's like, it's honestly, it's disgusting at one point when you can't be real with yourself. And us humans need to super really be real with ourselves at first and foremost. And that's only to be real with other people, right? Like, that's the only way that this world is gonna fucking just function better. And the whole thing is, it's like, when you're dealing, like, and I'm not saying that you, like, literally, I am a very high-end person that doesn't have to act high-end to be high-end. You know what I'm saying? So my whole thing is, it's like, when we're saying, like, bougie, and, like, so I'm glad that people have money and shit, but my whole thing is, it's like, it is exhausting to be of a personality that has to kind of adapt to what money kind of quote unquote looks like or feels like. Why can't you just be you? with a lot of fucking money is what I'm trying to say. Like, why can't that happen? You know what I'm saying? At the most realist and most relaxed level. Like, that is my form of success. And at this point I said to myself too, that I'm literally only going to be around the healers and the feelers that are able to feel into me and are able to, support me in a way of which is soft and unconditional, and also is super fucking, heartfelt. Like, yeah, absolutely heartfelt and felt into, right? So my whole thing, because there's a difference. You can feel into somebody and you can fucking manipulate that fucking energy. Oh, I feel that this guy is a nice guy. Let me go fucking stir the fucking pot here. Boom, bada bing, bada boom, and then you fucking use that person. No. That is absolutely not the way to fucking act at all. What I'm saying is, and I can feel a fucking person when they do that through whatever the fuck mode you want to call it, through gift giving, through fucking, compliment giving. I can feel into what the fuck is real and what the fuck isn't. Which, by the way, is a gratitude to my intuition, because my intuition has me on guard, on alert, and basically just like I committed myself to it, right? So the whole thing is, and that's not accepted in my world. So my whole thing is, when I talk about people being of the realist, it's a part of your authenticity. It's a part of you being comfortable and cozied up to who the fuck you are. It's part of being real with yourself on so many levels, in terms of in the good way and in the bad way, when you know you need to change something about yourself and you're like, oh fuck, damn, I have to like go switch this shit up. Like, yeah, it's called work, but like, you're gonna fucking have to do it if you want a better life, And so the whole thing is, when it comes down to it, yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, I'm not putting up with it. So thank you to the heavens today for our inner, we have no pain anymore. And that doesn't mean that I have to go out now and share it with the world, which is kind of sort of what I'm doing right now. But at the same time, I'm fine doing it from my house and not from like the outer world where I have to actually go work somewhere and just do it. Like, this is all that people don't realize. This also takes a lot of work and effort, right? Time, effort, work. I'm not relaxed right now. Like, I am semi-relaxed, but like, I'm not. My whole thing is, I'm just so super grateful for the freedom that I get to have here. And the extra freedom as of today that I get to have, as well as, the dreams that are going to be realized, and absolutely grounded into my reality today. And also thank you, God, for intuition. I'm going to have to just thank all three of those things, because I'm going to hang out with those. The intuition, dreams, and my freedom, and also money is going to be my, is going to be the way that I hang out with things. You know what I'm saying? Also, what's trying to come through, I was trying to say that before, where this has a lot to do with authenticity, where I was like, oh man, I lost it again. It was just like trying to creep through, but maybe it's not meant to be shared. Whatever. It's also because I'm a little tired, but places. Yeah, so I'm seeing places on this card, and maybe as of tomorrow you're going places. You know what I'm saying? Like, things are going to start, it's kind of like God's, not grind, but what is it called? Gears. God's gears are going to actually start moving to where you're going to be moving, you're going to be getting places, right? And wow, it's so, wow, that's so nuts. There's a unicorn on this card, and I was just mentioning the horses that are exhausted, right? And that, I just like, literally was just like, wow, what if a unicorn was just super exhausted and super just like malnutritioned? Like, that's exactly more so of how I would feel, like maybe my heart can be the exhausted horse, but like and me being the unicorn, exhausted unicorn, and or vice versa, and or a blend of both worlds. I don't have a fucking clue, but this bitch is tired. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot. There has been a lot. I'm gonna say there has been a lot to fight through, a lot to release, and a lot of like, you just physically just want to fucking punch somebody. Like, you physically just want to like karate kick somebody or punch them like direct in the face. Like, there's been like an urge of that, but the whole thing is, hold yourself back from it. Hold yourself back, because you just want to fucking, because I think, here's the thing, it's hurt people want to hurt people, right? And I know I'm hurt, right? So my whole thing is like, I refuse to hurt others just because I'm hurt, but I also refuse to hurt others because my reputation, which is for tomorrow's card, is very big for me. I've built so much based off of me, myself, and I, and my healthy self, and me, myself, and I, that I would never, that comes first. I would never like act on my urges to fucking beat the shit out of somebody. I would never I would really have to fucking think hard, right, about doing that. So my whole thing is, and again, so I ran into somebody on social media saying, I used to want vengeance, which is not truly me at all. I never fucking really gave a shit about revenge or vengeance or to seek vengeance. But lately that shit has been a little too fucking common. And the whole thing is, but the girl said, but then she's like, I figured out that God can do better than I can. And so she goes, and so I just let it be. And she goes, and I bless you and I say goodbye, or something like that, right? And I was like, and that's how I live. Like, I don't seek the vengeance. I just go, okay, all right, awesome. And a few times, because I'm like, I have to just like, you know how you like pump it up, you gotta like rev it up. You're like, okay, got it. All right, got it. And you're like, okay, I can't believe that just fucking happened. All right, spirit, all right. Like, you're just like, you know, it's like you're fucking punching these fucking airbags, you know what I'm saying? And because you're like the fucking punching bag that took it on. So you're like punching these airbags like in the air, and you're just like, all right, that just fucking happened. Okay, all right. So I'm just gonna fucking just sit chill and fucking just pretend that this is fucking okay when it's really not okay. And then all of a sudden you're just like, you know, you just have to fucking just, you know, back the fuck down, relax, do like, you know, count your 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. What the fuck is wrong with me? What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with this world? Like, that type of shit, you know? Like Carl in Family Matters when I was growing up, but he obviously does it. It's not verbatim. He does it his way. I just did it mine. So yeah. So basically, long story short, you'll be taking places. By the way, let me just mention to you right now, there's no rainbows in these cards, but you know that there's something so full on up with in the ethers and with spirit when you are going through it, and fucking rainbows are common in your life. I think I've seen 3 rainbows in the past week, and maybe 4, okay, maybe 4, 3 or 4 rainbows in the past week where it's like, if they didn't send me that fucking rainbow, I would have been like, what the fuck? What the fuck is really, like, what is this? What the fuck is going on? And how do you fix this? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm more so like of a fixer. If I see what's wrong, I'll change up super easy to fucking fix that problem, right? That's what makes me love myself and harmonious, and like, it makes me fucking, you know, proud of myself. Proud has been coming up a lot lately. Where it's like, you know, it's okay to be that way. Also, talk about proud there, and talk about malnourishment. Wow, this is wild. So we were just talking about horses, but through Instagram, I literally saw, and I might have shared it in my stories, where, excuse me, I'm like releasing right now too, where literally there was a lion who was coming to the end of his life, and who is also malnutrition, malnourished, however you want to call it. And literally, the description was about all this shit, like when a lion, like all this stuff about like what lions go through towards the end of their life. You can see the ribs on both of these animals. This is what I'm trying to say. And you can see that they're just like fucking done. And let me just tell you something. When you're fucking done, right? Even with a lion, you can be as powerful as a lion. That's why I don't even look into power so much, because power is exhausting, actually, to even fucking keep up with. So what I'm saying is, like, money and power, that shit is exhausting to keep up with. That's why I want to fucking simplify that shit within my own self. But and stay at the fuck that simple, because my whole thing is, at the end of the day, you can be super like a lion, powerful like a lion, courageous like a lion, and powerful like a fucking, like a horse with horsepower in it, right? But the whole thing is, and these two animals are mighty powerful, right? And they can take on a lot, they can fucking fight a lot, they could, whatever. But my whole thing is, at the end of the day, this description for the lion said, when you get older, and a lion is about to fucking like just die out, there's all these other motherfuckers that like come in and literally just like eat him alive, right? They just like eat him alive. So because he's slowed down, he can't fight for himself, he can't find food, he can't really take on any water. It's like the heat is getting to him. It's just like the body is just shutting down, right? And, people sniff that out and they just fucking start attacking. And not that was in the IG, but that was in the, what's it called? In the description. And people just start, not people, well, it couldn't be people, right? But like the viciousness out of the other animals that are like hungry and become quote unquote more so powerful than the leading lion, right? Than the leader of a lion, like leadership of a lion. Literally it can be taken out in 2.5 seconds, right? So that's the whole thing. It's like, fucking stay in your gratitude, fucking be humble, fucking be real with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because at one point, even if you're as powerful as a lion and you are like, I'm here, I'm the oldest one here, I'm gonna fucking lead the way, lead the family, this and that. The whole thing is, you have to be real with yourself, and you have to fucking just, what is it called, man down? Like, you have to really call the shots in saying, you know what, I have to realize that I'm not as strong as I once was, and I have to just kind of let other people take over my rule, right? Like, and that's the same in business, right? Like, you would be smart, intelligent, and respected if you were to just fucking give your business over to somebody who, like, while you're alive, you leave with dignity. You know what I'm saying? While you're alive, you fucking just give your business over to somebody who would be grateful for and who would fucking help it prosper a lot longer, right? It's an entity in and of itself, a business. So it's kind of like, to think that you're going to be all so powerful and also fucking, in your leadership at all costs and this and that. No, you're going to crumble one day too, This is why I will never come out and maybe never say never, but whatever. I really regulate the shit out of myself. Where it's like, I would never put myself in a position, and if I did, I would immediately, as soon as I realized it, I would apologize for it. But the whole thing is, I would never talk shit to somebody's face, and meaningless shit, right? Or try to be meaningful about it, but also be meaningless, like, because you haven't been living a meaningful life, like, so my whole thing is, or a spiritual life at that matter, for that matter. So my whole thing is, like, I would never have something to say to somebody that I am rejecting. If do I want to say rejecting, or or like, put it this way, here's how I want to say it. I know I am of power, right? I know I am of power, even if I don't have the physical things to prove it to some people, right? I know I am a physical power. I know that I have a lot of strength, right? But that doesn't mean I now need to walk around and put down people because I'm so spiritually heightened or creatively heightened, or I'm better than you. I have this strength, I have that strength. Or I own my own company. People don't realize that. I own my own company. So it's like, I haven't been working on it because I've been so fucking in so many places all at once. But, you know, the whole thing is, it's like, now I'm coming to the realization, I'm like, fuck, I really like need to put all this fucking bullshit aspect aside and really kind of, you know, give it some attention, because I know that will essentially feed me at the end of the day if I gave it a shot, right? It's kind of like, that came up too, if we only as parents gave our children a shot at being their real selves instead of how we want them to be as parents, right? They would be so much more better off. And that is my intention with my own business. I want to see what my business has in store for me. What is it going to do for me, right? Like, what's the potential out of my business? So I need to give it a shot. I need to give it the reins. I need to give it the spirit. I need to feed it every day, right? Like, I need to care for it. So my whole thing, and that's just because it's an invisible entity right now doesn't mean it's not going to get physical later, right? So the whole thing is like, you know, so I have all this stuff that I'm not really sharing with people, right? You know, on a one-to-one basis, or even on, you know, ooh, thank you, Spirit. That was so confirmation. Or even on, give me 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Or even on, you know, social media. Like, I don't share it that much, even though I've been thinking maybe I should, but we'll see. But the whole thing is, it's like, you know, I can absolutely, and the power that I have within me is fucking ultra, where it's like mega, right? So my whole thing is, it's like, I can easily really fucking release and use this power, you know, in a very much so whiplash type of way, you know, to like hurt people. I can use it to hurt people, or I can use it to fucking uplift, right? Or I can use it that semi happy midway where it's just like, we'll see, like, wherever it's meant to be, wherever it's needed, I will use whatever the fuck I have to do with it, you know, accordingly. That's how I'm going to say it. And so, long story short, so I am a powerful being, but I don't have to go walk around putting other people down or trying to make myself be more meaningful than I already fucking am. You know what I'm saying? So there's just, I don't know, there's just very weird, shifty, shady fucking energies that are like, people are trying to just like not be, they're trying to come out of themselves to not be themselves, to be as if they fucking know a lot of shit, but then they don't really know a lot of shit because they don't really know the whole story. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is, it's like, God bless those that try to help, you know, like, I understand that we're not all going to be accurate with things, but also, for those of you that are trying to help, that are not feeling into the situation and are just going off of the aspect of what we have been taught as children, and not what the actual truth of the matter is, that's scary. You know what I'm saying? That's really scary. And you honestly need to, you know, do a lot more self-reflection, and and a lot more of, you know, what Michael Jackson called, I'm the man in the mirror. Like, I have to change first, right? The man in the mirror has to change, has to do a lot of more transforming or transformation. It has to go through a lot more transformation before you can think you know what you're talking about, without even having actually even like I said, felt into and or asked, right? There's both. You either have the courage to ask somebody, like, hey, what's really going on? And or you, and even so, the intuition needs to be your first and foremost, like, you know, going into it, and or, you know, like, feeling into it, and or ending with it too. Like, I'll never forget, I watched Oh my god, I watched one episode of Jersey Shore recently, and I don't think I kind of stopped watching it. I don't think, first of all, everything, whatever, I'm not even gonna get into it. I don't watch it really anymore. So, long story short, but I love Snooks. I love Snooki, where I remember a time where she was like, I sound like such like an elderly, I remember a time. No, but she was talking about, she was talking with Angelina, which, by the way, there's so much venting. I'm gonna fucking vent right now, and I don't give a fuck. Yo, that fucking, what is her name? I don't know, whatever. The creator of the Jersey Shore, I forgot her name. Listen, I'm so fucking mad at you. I'm so pissed off because these people, first of all, with the whole Angelina thing, you're fucked for having her back on the show because you think that she brings the drama. You're ruining her life when really she's not all there to begin with. So she's already having a tough life and you're just like playing her like a fucking fiddle, and that's not cute for anybody. Like I said, what did I say before? People sometimes have they know what they're doing. They know how they're manipulating a situation, but yet they don't know how to, like, they're doing it for the bad fucking, they're doing it with bad intentions, right? And the whole thing is like, you know, because they're also seeing that the person that's like involved, A, they're getting paid for the shit, B, you know, they don't know how to resolve their own fucking issues, so let's just make it a bigger fucking issue, right? So it's like, for Angelina, like, if this chick hears me, get the fuck off of MTV. Go, you were what was I gonna say? EMT at one point. So go fucking do EMT, dude. That it's like because people need your help. People need your fucking knowledge as an EMT, right? So my whole thing is, and like, stop, because they really, it's just too much, right? And like everybody on the show, you can tell emotionally and intelligently and energetically that like everybody's like, literally they're all too cool for this fucking bullshit, and yet because they're getting paid and because, like, you know, what's her name? Sandy? I don't fucking know. She like literally has them like everybody by the fucking balls, right? And or she thinks so, because that can only last for so long. But long story short, so Angelina needs to get the fuck off the show for it to become a way better show, because it was already a fucking good show to begin with without her even fucking being on it. And so it's like, why do you need her there? No one needs her there. She's bringing down the house. I'm not even fucking watching it. And these people that are on it are honestly way too good for the fucking drama. Way too good. So, long story short, I remember when like Snooki had sat down with Angelina, and Angelina, obviously, she's very, like, topical. She doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Like, whatever. It's like, it's just kind of a little bit, what is it called? She's just, like, into herself. You know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't know she doesn't have an answer, right? Like, it's just one of the vain, I don't know what you want to call it, whatever. But, like, in that moment, I'm not saying she was vain. She just, like, was topical about shit. And she was like, oh, la, la, la. And Snooki actually said, but no, how do you really feel about it? Like, she's like, I understand that you're doing all this topical bullshit, but she's like, but what's really going on? Like, she said it's something like that to her. And I was like, yo, God bless Snooki. Not that Snooki gives a shit, but obviously she's doing it for the fucking show, you know what I'm saying? But, like, Snooki is a really good person, as are, like, pretty much a lot of the people on this show. And my whole thing is, it's like, you're messing with the wrong fucking people. At the end of the day, you're gonna get like, for instance, talk about the lion thing. Like, that fucking, the creator of the show, God bless her, but at the end of the day, she twisted it into such a negative way, thinking that, oh, she's the lion of this show, and she's gonna get away with all this shit, and, like, this and that. But meanwhile, this bitch is not gonna fucking be in power for a very long time. Like, she thought, like, this was gonna maybe, like, continue her power. She is so misinformed and misempowered, and really will be dismissed very soon, because you can't do this for long. I mean, that's kind of like the way that I am living like, the way that my life is right now, it's like, it's so interesting, because, like, I have in my fucking environment an elderly person who doesn't know how to take care of themselves, doesn't want to take care of another elderly person, and then wants to fucking reign the fucking, you know, what is it called when you rule the roost? Yeah. You can't do that. You can't do it. And especially when you're of a certain sign that you're fucking discombobulated just naturally. Dude, you can't do it. You know what I'm saying? And there's a way to do it that I've been bringing up in terms of so many times, and in English, and in fucking Slavic, and in fucking Balkanese, and in fucking energy, and in all different ways, right? But the whole thing is, it's like, it will take spirit and it will take the God to somehow wake this fucking person up, to let them man the fuck down and let somebody else come into quote unquote ruling of the house. And only because I give a shit about the house. This person doesn't give a fuck about the fucking house, right? So, but there's like 3 people living underneath the roof. So it's like, how the fuck do we put this elderly in rule when really shit is collapsing around us? Like, there's nothing that like is literally kind of functioning well. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is, it's like, you know, and how, like, my whole thing is, I'm a person of such fucking patience, but it doesn't take patience to fucking really maintain a household. It takes care. It takes wanting to do that. It takes money, and it takes allocating money to do that. And the whole thing is, it's like, you know, for instance, if an AC is down in Florida, it shouldn't fucking take 3 days to give a fucking phone call to any random AC person out there to be like, hey, we need fucking help. There's an elderly in the fucking space. We need fucking AC on ASAP. And that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you do. It's not like asking so much of a fucking person to do that. But my whole thing is, when it comes down to it, you know, a person that, and also let's also add to it that they're in the grieving process. So the whole thing is, it's like, you're going to that came out of my face, but I'm just saying that really needs to be done. It needs to be handed off to me, is what I'm trying to say, because, you know, I can take it on as a full-time. There's ways to fucking do it. I can do it. My whole thing is, do I act disrespectful, or do I fucking go for the jugular? You know, I mean, they're both kind of disrespectful, right? Or do I just ignore it? But my whole thing is, I'm too on. I can't fucking ignore things. And then I also pray about them. But like, how long will it take for prayer to be fucking answered? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I am also a very proactive person in terms of taking things into my own hands and fucking like making the fucking call, making this, you know what I'm saying? But who's gonna make the call when I can't make enough, when I don't make enough money to fucking, you know, to actually pay the AC person, right? And when a person's stingy with their fucking money, how does it make sense for me to fucking call somebody and pay with what card? You know what I'm saying? Pay with, like, I have one. There's not, it just can't be done. There's not a balance on there that can fucking pay for the AC. So my whole thing is, it's like, there are things that you can do as a human to be proactive in your life, to be real with yourself and say, hey, guess what? I own a house. I don't have the income for a house. Let me move into a rental space, a smaller space, to where it can be handled and not have things be so fucking big. However, luckily I exist, and luckily I can fucking take over, and luckily I love doing that shit. So my whole thing is, it's like, you know, and not that I'm saying that the elderly, one of the elderlies would be super grateful. The other elderly is super combative in terms of just like the resistance, you know what I'm saying, is what I heard one time. So the whole thing is, like, they won't let shit fucking go, let anything go through at all, like, on a happy note, like, just to chill back and fucking be a little bit of a useful princess, you know what I'm saying? Because you can be a princess, and you could also be fucking useful, which is what I am, essentially. So I don't even care what anybody thinks about that or says about that. It is what I am. But I take charge. I give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one to just like, you know, I don't have the staffing even for that, like to fucking not give a shit. It's like, and so, excuse me, even if I had the staffing, I don't know if I would man down. I'd be like the fucking, you know, what's it called? Keanu Reeves fucking riding the fucking train alongside with everybody, you know, eating ice cream by myself on a fucking sidewalk in a random spot without any fucking, you know, what's it called, bouncers or anything, security around. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'd be the same way, because that's exactly how I want to live my life. I don't want to, and listen, I understand if something were to happen where it's like fucking explosion, and it happens where you get to the top, like you're fucking like Jay-Z or Beyonce. Dude, you have to be real with yourself. You really can't go anywhere by yourself on I'm not gonna say unannounced, but on I guess, what's the word? Whatever. Not with anybody, right? You always have to have somebody around you, because like, you know, people don't know how to control themselves, is what I'm trying to say. And, you know, they don't know how to self-control, so they don't know how to control themselves when somebody, the other day, oh my God, I was watching fucking DJ Khaled. He had posted, I love DJ Khaled. I love all DJs and I love all comedians pretty much. And DJ Khaled is just fucking the jam, right? And so DJ Khaled put up this fucking post where he was dancing in the middle of the streets. And he's another one that I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, we still want you around. These other people, they, you know, you can't expect other people to be that happy for you when, you know, somebody can come around and fucking just straight up like shoot your ass. But at the same time, he is protected. We're just gonna say that. And I know that he believes that he's protected, so that's why he can do crazy shit. But at the same time, it's like, you have to hone it in a little bit, because it's like, you know, your kids also need you as a dad. It's not just about like being like the people's man, you know what I'm saying? Or the man of the human of the people, right? Man of the people, human of the, it doesn't matter, same thing. But like, he went into the fucking streets and he was dancing, and somebody was recording him dancing. And some guy, I don't know who the fuck he was, but he was like all over his hood. He was like touching his hood. He was like, his hoodie, like he was like fucking, he like flipped the hood over his face and over his head. And I was like, who the fuck is this dude right now? Like, straight up just can't fucking, like, let this guy just live his fucking moment out. You know what I'm saying? And yet you have to be on the camera, and yet you have to be next to DJ Khaled. It's like, I'm telling you, people can't control themselves, and they overstep their boundaries, and so they need to be told. And meanwhile, like, you know, he's in his flow, and you can tell energetically that, like, fucking DJ Khaled didn't want the hood over his head. You know what I'm saying? And yet this guy kept on covering him up with his fucking hood, and I was like, bro, this is annoying at this point. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm saying. God bless all y'all people. Blessings to everybody who, you know, everybody who can, you know, relate with me, because I feel like it's very rare. Because it's like, I'm doing it on a good note, but I'm also devilish about it, but also it is for a good note. So it's kind of like this weird, you know, Oreo. It's like either an actual Oreo or, well, actually, it is kind of like an Oreo. It's an Oreo protecting, you know, the pleasure and the positive and the purity of things. You know what I'm saying? And being full on asshole, like, if it does not happen that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. God bless all these people who don't know how to control themselves. You know, don't be afraid of them, P.S., but at the same time, you know, don't also have them the fuck around you. Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, How come all 50 people behind, you know, what's it called, DJ Khaled, like, fucking knew how to stand back and just, like, watch him and, like, you know, like, not egg him on, but, like, root him on, you know what I'm saying? And, like, this one guy had to just, like, come out of his fucking, you know, out of his space, or out of his, you know, out of his space, to fucking just be so obnoxious about the whole hood thing, when you can tell it's not about what you want, motherfucker. It's about what, like, DJ Khaled is doing. So it's like, and he, like, got in the way of his flow. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why I get annoyed by people, because people don't know how to read energy well enough to get the fuck out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Just get the fuck out of the way is all I'm trying to say. And because there's so many of us that are just trying to do shit and get shit done, and you're actually being unhelpful when you think it's all about you, and you're not thinking that it's about the value. However, people like me are also transitioning to the fact that, you know what? I've been working for far too long. It's now going to be about me. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you haven't heard me when it wasn't about me, and now that it is about me, you're gonna fucking hear me. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a matter of fact, that's a fact. Like, we're gonna have to change things up now because of the fact that that there was not enough you know, mutual respect there. You know what I'm saying? So now it's kind of like, you know, my energy has elevated, my fucking speech has elevated, my freedom, my joy, my happiness, my health. It's even though, like I said, weirdly enough, I'm fucking, like, depleted, I am also of my strength, which is actually seen by the world. So I think that's just, like, irradiating out there. But it's been my work up until now. It's been my habitual work up until now. It's been my discipline up until now. So the whole thing is, it's like, you know, we can only do our best to just bask in these healthy, vibrant, yellow, white, divine white rays of light. You know what I'm saying? And by that I mean, we're going to, like yellow tulips that are shown on this card where it says, now I have no pain. We're gonna fucking root ourselves where we're at, and we're gonna fucking now, quote unquote, make something more of ourselves, right, than we have been. So guys, I'm out. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'll talk to you soon, and we'll talk soon. And all of that, we'll talk soon. We'll talk soon upon talking soon, and then more soon. Okay, bye.